Think today's laws are strict? Complaining about a speeding ticket? Imagine living in a world where your own father could, completely legally, sell you into slavery. If you made him angry, he could disown you. If he was having a really bad day, he could kill you. And all of it was perfectly legal. We worry about our Wi-Fi cutting out, but back then, a simple no to your father could have been the last word you ever spoke. History is filled with these insane laws, rules that, from our perspective, seem absurd, cruel, or just plain hilarious. But they aren't just strange anecdotes. They are windows into the mindset of humanity in different eras. Today on Hidden Vibe, we're unlocking these doors and taking a trip into the weirdest, funniest, and sometimes most terrifying corners of the history books. We're going to dissect 5 real laws that will make you grateful to be living in the 21st century. So buckle up, because we're about to find out why history is so full of ideas that were simultaneously brilliant and completely insane. Let's jump into the first and most terrifying law on our list, pater familias in ancient Rome. This means father of the family, and this title gave him almost unlimited power. According to the Law of the 12 Tables, Rome's oldest legal code, the father of the family held the power of life and death over everyone in his household, including his adult sons, grandchildren, and slaves. This was a power greater than the veto in the UN Security Council. This was absolute power. So, you want to be a digital entrepreneur? Got a dream startup? Want to tell your dad your future career is being an influencer? In ancient Rome, your dad probably would have confused the word influencer with useless. He wouldn't look at your business plan, he'd redesign your entire life plan. Your dad probably thinks a career in the salt mines is a better fit for you. And the worst part of this whole ordeal? It's not the lack of Wi-Fi in the salt mines. The worst part is your 30-year, non-negotiable contract with that mine. And the fact that your only coworker is a large rock that reminds you of your shattered dreams. This law existed for centuries to preserve the structure of the Roman family and society. But it shows us just how different and, well, terrifying the concept of family could be. Now let's head to Athens, the cradle of democracy, a place where the people held the power. Maybe a little too much power. Get to know the law of ostracism. Every year, the citizens of Athens could vote to banish one person from the city for 10 years. No trial, no criminal charges. You just needed to have enough people dislike you. How did they vote? By writing a person's name on a broken piece of pottery called an ostracon. Imagine Instagram having an exile button next to the block button. It was exactly that, just the analog and much, much more permanent version. Why might you get exiled? Maybe you were too powerful, too rich, or maybe because your new haircut was just ridiculous. Historians say a man named Aristides was ostracized because people were tired of hearing everyone call him the just. Ostracism was a tool to prevent dictators from rising, but in practice, it became history's biggest reverse popularity contest. If you thought the last laws were weird, get ready for this one. In medieval Europe, animals could be put on trial. Yes, you heard that right. We have registered court cases for pigs, rats, cows, and even insects who were summoned to court for crimes like property damage or even murder. They had defense lawyers, witnesses testified against them, and a jury delivered the verdict. And what defense could a pig's lawyer possibly have? Your Honor, my client, Mr. Pig, was not in his right mind at the time of the crime. He was in a state of pig and had no criminal intent. He just wanted a piece of cabbage. These trials reflected a completely different worldview where the line between the human and animal world was much blurrier, and everyone, even a pig, was accountable to the laws of God and man. Of course, their answer was usually, execution. Some laws are weird, some are funny, and some are horrifyingly logical. Welcome to the Ottoman Empire, where the law of fratricide was official state policy for centuries. Sultan Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople, made it official. Whichever of my sons inherits the sultanate, it is fitting that he should kill his brothers to preserve the world's border. Why? Because in Ottoman history, every prince had a claim to the throne. This meant that upon a sultan's death, a bloody civil war for succession would begin. This ruthless law was designed to prevent a larger war that would cost thousands of lives. They chose a smaller evil to prevent a greater one. A very effective solution. Unless, of course, you're not the oldest brother. And for our final law, we return to Rome because that empire was a goldmine of weird legislation. This time, we're talking about the tax on urine. Emperor Vespasian, in the 1st century AD, needed to fill the empty state treasury. So he placed a tax on the collection and sale of urine from public toilets. Why would anyone buy urine? Because its ammonia made it a fantastic cleaning and bleaching agent for laundry, especially woolen togas. When his son Titus complained about this stinky tax, Vespasian held a gold coin under his nose and asked, "Does it smell?" When Titus said no, Vespasian spoke his famous line, which means pecunia non olet. Money does not stink. And that's how one of history's strangest taxes gave us one of the world's most famous proverbs. So what did we learn? That in humanity's endless quest for order, we've come up with some interesting solutions. We sold our children to control the future. We exiled our friends to control power. We sued pigs to control nature. And we killed our brothers to control chaos. History is the notebook of humanity's craziest ideas. The next time you're stuck in traffic, that familiar moment of pure frustration, when you're sitting in a metal box, staring at hundreds of other metal boxes, and you ask yourself, what is the meaning of all this pointlessness? Remember this: you aren't stuck in traffic. You are the end result of a multi-million-year survival contest. Every single person in those cars is a descendant of an unbroken chain of lucky ones, survivors, and heroes who made it through ice ages, plagues, and insane laws, all just so you could be here today, to have someone honk at you. These strange laws aren't just history. They're a reminder that we are creatures who will do anything to survive. And maybe, just maybe, that perspective makes the traffic a little easier to bear. And then again, maybe not. Now for the main challenge for you in the comments. Name a modern law or custom that you think in 500 years will end up on a list just like this one. We'll be waiting for your most brilliant and slightly terrifying answers. Until the next file, stay curious.